Here come the lights, the first ever Jaguar I-PACE eTROPHY Series races go. Good start from Evans.
Unbelievable start, you know, going up there, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew if I put my best foot forward, I'd be there or thereabouts, you know, but you know, some of the credentials of the other drivers is so high. So we started off really well. In the shakedown, we were second fastest, so I thought, okay, we're there or thereabouts. Practice, we were fastest by 0.01 of a second, so the slimmest of margins. And then, believe it or not, it rained overnight, and you get 3 days of rain in a year in Saudi Arabia, and we got it basically all in one night. So the track flooded, and qualifying was cancelled, and so they went off the practice times, so they managed to start off pole. Yeah, it was a really tight circuit. It was actually a really enjoyable circuit to drive, but I was quickest in the third sector, which was the only passing opportunities in the circuit. So I knew if I got the start right, I could hold on and be fast in that last part where no one would be able to pass me. And the race was really tough because the track was still drying. We thought it was going to dry quite a bit faster than what it did, especially being in the desert. But from start to finish, it was still really damp. I was watching some of it in my mirror. There was a really good battle for second. Sergio passed Brian with a really good move. So when I saw that, I figured out there was another passing opportunity. But yeah, it was amazing just to come away and get the very first race win of the I-PACE eTROPHY. The very first race win in Saudi Arabia. It was the first ever car race there. And yeah, so can't believe it. Oh, it's incredible. It's super close. We got, I think, 3 guys from 3 different backgrounds, put into this production car, and we're basically separated by absolutely nothing. I think all 3 of us were split by a second at the end of the race. So that just shows, what a fantastic job Jaguar have done. But what an awesome job the factory have done just in terms of a production car, because it runs the same motors, same drivetrain as what the road car does. And we were pounding these cars, smashing curbs, and they held up incredible. No, we still quite a bit of battery left in the tank as well. So yeah, maybe hopefully they might give us a bit more power or extend the races out to be a little bit longer. But yeah, just a fantastic way to start the series. So a bit of pressure on now. I think I was flying under the radar going into the weekend, but definitely not anymore. This is almost identical to the car that I get to race around the streets. So we've got the drivetrain is identical, the battery is exactly the same, the motor on the front and the rear of the car is exactly the same, the width, the size of the car is exactly the same, but we've got a little bit more of a stiffer car because of the roll cage that they put in for safety reasons, a little bit more of an aerodynamics. We've got a rear spoiler, we've got a splitter on the front end of the car. The race car is left-hand drive, so that's a little bit unusual for me, but it's basically it is a production car turned into a race car. They've basically taken 20 cars straight off of the production line, sent them to SVO. They've developed them, and then they've been sent off to M Sport, which are world famous rally and race car team. They've put all the roll cage in, and then we've sent them straight out to the racetrack. For me, the biggest challenge is obviously the noise. We use that as a sense when we're driving, obviously to tell how fast we're going, get a good gauge of what the car is actually doing. We don't have that anymore, so it's basically just, seat the pants feel. You've got to feel everything through the seat and the steering wheel. The delivery of power is very different as well. So it's basically like a 4-wheel drive car with the motor at the front of the rear of the car. We do have an adjustment, so we can actually split the power difference from the front to rear. So we've got an even split, so a 50-50 between the front wheels, rear wheels. Then we go to a 55% to the rear, 60 and a 65. So you do have a little bit of adjustment, but otherwise, yeah, it's how the power is delivered is very interesting. It's almost like a switch, because as we know with electric, it's all in. So sometimes it feels like if you're half throttle or full throttle, it doesn't make a difference. You just got all this massive amount of torque. Incredibly fun. You finally hear the tyres and the brakes working, which is normally droned out by a motor. So you sort of feel sorry for the tyres for a little bit there, but then you get over them. But fantastic car to drive on the streets.
Simon Evans about to make history by winning the first ever Jaguar I-PACE eTROPHY Series. It's the checker flag and the win for Simon Evans.